It was an interview heard around the world, or at least by everyone on Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. Donald Trump, former president of the United States, sat down, virtually, with Elon Musk, the enigmatic CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, for a live interview. The platform? None other than Musk's own Twitter, recently rebranded as X. Forget cable news, this was the new public square, where two of the most polarizing figures of our time would spar, debate, and maybe even find some common ground. The world waited with bated breath. Would there be fireworks? Would there be awkward silences? Would there be coherent sentences? We hoped for the best, braced for the worst, and settled in for what promised to be a wild ride. This wasn't just an interview, it was a spectacle, a clash of titans, a media event for the ages. It was a reminder that in the age of the internet, anything is possible, and nothing is predictable. Donald Trump needs no introduction. Love him or hate him, you know his name. As the 45th president, he upended the political establishment. Elon Musk is a visionary entrepreneur, the real-life Tony Stark. With Tesla, he's made electric vehicles sexy, and with SpaceX, he's reignited space exploration. One is a master of politics, the other a master of technology. Both capture the public's attention and dominate headlines. On the surface, Trump and Musk couldn't be more different. One is a brash, outspoken showman with a penchant for hyperbole. The other is a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, more comfortable talking about rockets. But beneath the surface, there are intriguing parallels. Both are disruptors, unafraid to challenge the status quo, and both have a loyal following of supporters. This unlikely pairing promised to be a fascinating study in contrasts. The interview began with an air of cautious curiosity. Musk, from his minimalist office, greeted Trump, who appeared against a backdrop of American flags, a stark contrast in both setting and style. The initial minutes were dedicated to pleasantries, a digital handshake before the real match began. Trump, never one to miss a chance at self-promotion, reminded everyone of his success with Truth Social, his own social media platform. Musk, known for his directness, didn't shy away from acknowledging the competition, but steered the conversation back to the matter at hand: the future. It was a dance many had seen before. Trump, the seasoned showman, used to commanding attention, and Musk, the more reserved entrepreneur, navigating the spotlight in his own way. The tension, though subtle, was palpable. Would this be a meeting of minds or a clash of egos? Section 2. Tech Talk, from tweets to Teslas. The conversation quickly shifted to technology, a domain where Musk reigns supreme. He spoke about his vision for a multi-planetary future, with SpaceX at the forefront of human exploration. Trump, never one to be outdone, chimed in with his own thoughts on space, reminiscing about his time in office and the decisions made regarding NASA. The exchange, though brief, highlighted their contrasting approaches. Musk, the forward-thinking innovator, and Trump, focused on past achievements. Musk, with his characteristic enthusiasm, delved into the world of artificial intelligence, Tesla's advancements in self-driving cars, and the potential of sustainable energy. Trump, while acknowledging the importance of these issues, seemed more interested in bringing the conversation back to familiar territory: jobs, the economy, and American dominance. Section 3. The economy bull or bear. The economy, a perennial hot-button issue, inevitably took center stage. Trump, touting his economic record during his presidency, claimed credit for a booming stock market and low unemployment rates. Musk, known for his more nuanced views, acknowledged the complexities of the global market, pointing to factors beyond any single administration's control. The discussion, though cordial on the surface, hinted at underlying disagreements. Trump favored protectionist policies and emphasized American manufacturing, while Musk, with his global companies, advocated for free trade and international collaboration. It was a microcosm of their broader ideological differences: nationalism versus globalism, tradition versus innovation. Section 4. Social media's Wild West, free speech or free-for-all. The conversation inevitably veered towards social media, the very platform on which they were engaging in this high-stakes conversation. Musk, a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, defended his decision to purchase Twitter, now X, emphasizing his commitment to open dialogue and challenging censorship. Trump, who had famously used Twitter as a political weapon, echoed the importance of free speech, albeit with a different emphasis. Trump, who had been banned from Twitter following the January 6th Capitol riots, used the opportunity to air his grievances, claiming he was unfairly silenced and that his voice was crucial to the national conversation. Musk, careful not to be drawn into a debate about specific users or past events, reiterated his belief that Twitter, or X, should be a digital town square where all voices could be heard. Section 5, the Twitter takeover, a business decision or a crusade. Musk faced tough questions about his motivations for acquiring Twitter. Was it a savvy business move or a personal crusade to protect free speech? He insisted it was a bit of both, arguing that a healthy democracy requires a vibrant public square where ideas can be debated freely. Trump, ever the businessman, seemed to understand the financial implications, but also saw the platform's potential as a political tool. The exchange highlighted the complex intersection of technology, politics, and free speech in the digital age. Musk's vision for a more open and less censored Twitter, while appealing in theory, raised concerns about misinformation, hate speech, and the platform's potential to be used for malicious purposes. Section 6. Early jabs, hints of disagreement. Despite the seemingly cordial tone, there were moments of tension, subtle jabs that hinted at deeper disagreements. When Musk criticized Trump's decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement, a signature achievement of the Obama administration, Trump quickly pivoted to familiar talking points about American jobs and energy independence. Musk, known for his bluntness, didn't back down, stating that climate change was a real and pressing threat that required global cooperation. The exchange, though brief, illustrated the chasm between their views on climate change, a microcosm of their broader ideological differences. Section 1. The Mars Mandate, a multi-planetary future. With the initial pleasantries and economic sparring out of the way, Musk steered the conversation towards his true passion, the colonization of Mars. "We need to become a multi-planetary species," he declared, his voice taking on a familiar evangelical tone. "The future of humanity cannot be bound to a single planet." Trump, never one to be outdone in the ambition department, nodded along, perhaps recalling his own dreams of Space Force dominance. Musk, with characteristic zeal, painted a picture of a future where humanity transcended its earthly shackles and established a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. He spoke of Starship, SpaceX's massive reusable spacecraft, designed to ferry humans and cargo to the Red Planet. It was a vision both audacious and inspiring, a testament to Musk's unwavering belief in the power of technology to solve humanity's greatest challenges. The conversation then shifted to artificial intelligence, a topic fraught with both promise and peril. Musk, known for his cautious stance on AI, acknowledged the potential risks but remained cautiously optimistic. AI is a tool, he explained, and like any tool, it can be used for good or evil. The key is to ensure that it's developed responsibly and ethically. Trump, perhaps sensing an opportunity to land a punch, interjected, "So no Terminator scenarios then?" Musk, unfazed by the quip, continued, "We need to be vigilant, but we shouldn't let fear paralyze us. AI has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, from climate change to disease." He argued for a future where humans and AI work together, a symbiotic relationship where each augmented the other's strengths. No discussion about Elon Musk would be complete without mentioning Tesla, his electric car company that has become synonymous with the clean energy revolution. "We need to transition away from fossil fuels," Musk declared, "and electric vehicles are a critical part of that solution." Trump, ever the pragmatist, pointed out the challenges of transitioning to a fully electric fleet, citing concerns about infrastructure and affordability. Musk countered by highlighting Tesla's rapidly expanding supercharger network and the company's commitment to making electric vehicles accessible to the masses. He spoke passionately about the need to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change, a stark contrast to Trump's more skeptical stance on the issue. While Musk's ambitions clearly extended beyond Earth's atmosphere, he also articulated a vision for a better future here on our home planet. He spoke about the need for sustainable energy, universal access to education and healthcare, and a more equitable distribution of wealth. It was a surprisingly progressive agenda for someone often labeled a libertarian iconoclast. Trump, for his part, seemed more interested in returning to familiar themes of American exceptionalism and economic nationalism. He touted his own record on job creation and economic growth, suggesting that a return to his policies was the best path forward. The contrast between their visions for the future was stark, highlighting the fundamental ideological differences that separated them. Section 5. The Price of Progress: Navigating Ethical Dilemmas. As Musk delved deeper into his vision for the future, he also acknowledged the ethical dilemmas posed by rapid technological advancements. He spoke about the need for careful regulation of artificial intelligence, the importance of data privacy, and the potential dangers of unchecked corporate power. It was a surprisingly nuanced perspective from someone often criticized for his single-minded focus on innovation. Trump, ever the showman, seemed less interested in the ethical implications of technology and more focused on its potential to project American power on the world stage. He boasted about his administration's efforts to deregulate various industries and reduce government oversight, a stark contrast to Musk's more cautious approach. Section 6. The Musk Paradox: Disruptor or Defender of the Status Quo. As Act 2 of the interview drew to a close, one couldn't help but marvel at the complex and often contradictory nature of Elon Musk. He was a visionary entrepreneur, a technological disruptor, and a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist. Yet he also expressed concern about the potential dangers of unchecked technological advancement, the need for ethical considerations, and the importance of addressing social and economic inequalities. Was he a force for progress, or a defender of the status quo? The answer, it seemed, was both and neither. Musk was a product of his time, a complex figure navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing world. He was a walking paradox, and that was perhaps what made him so fascinating. Section 1. The Art of the Deal, Revisited: Trump on the Economy. When the conversation shifted to the economy, Trump's demeanor visibly brightened. This was his domain, the arena where he felt most comfortable and confident. He launched into a familiar refrain, touting his economic record as president and blaming the current administration for inflation and rising costs. "It's simple," he declared. "We need to cut taxes, reduce regulations, and unleash American energy." Musk, known for his more nuanced views on economics, listened patiently, occasionally nodding along but refraining from directly challenging Trump's assertions. He did, however, subtly steer the conversation towards the importance of innovation and investing in renewable energy, a stark contrast to Trump's emphasis on traditional industries and energy sources. Section 2. Making America Great Again, Trump's 2024 Vision. With the 2024 presidential election looming, it was inevitable that Trump would use this platform to promote his candidacy and outline his vision for the future. He spoke of restoring American strength on the world stage, renegotiating trade deals, and putting America first in all matters of foreign policy. It was a familiar stump speech, delivered with his trademark bluster and bravado. Musk, careful not to endorse any particular candidate, listened intently, occasionally raising an eyebrow at some of Trump's more outlandish claims. He did, however, press Trump on his plans to address climate change, a topic that had been notably absent from Trump's campaign rhetoric thus far. Section 3. China on his mind: Trade Wars and Tensions. Trump, never one to shy away from a geopolitical rivalry, devoted a significant portion of the interview to railing against China. He accused China of unfair trade practices, intellectual property theft, and currency manipulation. He boasted about his administration's tariffs on Chinese goods and threatened to take an even tougher stance if re-elected. Musk, whose companies had significant business interests in China, listened with a mix of amusement and concern. He acknowledged the challenges posed by China's rise but cautioned against a purely adversarial approach. He argued for a more nuanced strategy that combined competition with cooperation, a perspective that seemed lost on Trump. Section 4. Immigration and the Wall. A familiar refrain. Immigration, a topic that had become synonymous with Trump's presidency, also featured prominently in the interview. He reiterated his call for stricter border security, a crackdown on illegal immigration, and the completion of his long-promised border wall. He painted a picture of a country overrun by criminals and undocumented immigrants, a narrative that had resonated with his base but been widely criticized as fear-mongering. Musk, the son of an immigrant himself, listened patiently but refrained from engaging directly on the issue. He did, however, subtly shift the conversation towards the need for comprehensive immigration reform, a solution that had eluded lawmakers for decades. Section 5. Election denialism, a cloud over the conversation. Despite the wide-ranging nature of the interview, there was an elephant in the room, a topic that loomed large over the entire conversation: Trump's continued denial of the 2020 election results. While he didn't explicitly relitigate his claims of widespread voter fraud, he couldn't resist making veiled references to a stolen election and a rigged system. Musk, clearly uncomfortable with the direction the conversation was taking, tried to steer it back to more neutral territory. However, Trump's insistence on casting doubt on the legitimacy of the electoral process cast a pall over the entire interview, a reminder of the deep political divisions that continued to plague the country. Section 6. The showman must go on. Trump's unwavering confidence. As Act 3 of the interview came to a close, one thing was abundantly clear. Donald Trump had lost none of his showmanship, his ability to command attention, and his unwavering belief in himself. He had used this platform to his advantage, promoting his candidacy, outlining his vision for the future, and settling scores with his perceived enemies. Whether one agreed with his policies or not, it was impossible to deny his charisma and his ability to connect with a certain segment of the American public. He was a master of the media, a reality TV star turned politician who understood the power of spectacle and the importance of controlling the narrative. Section 1. A meeting of minds or a clash of titans? The anticipation surrounding the interview stemmed from the potential clash of two outsized personalities. Would it be a meeting of minds, a respectful exchange of ideas between two titans of their respective domains? Or would it devolve into a chaotic spectacle, a digital shouting match fueled by ego and Twitter's inherent tendency to amplify conflict? The reality, unsurprisingly, was a bit of both. There were moments of genuine engagement where Musk's probing questions elicited thoughtful, if predictable, responses from Trump. They found common ground on the importance of American innovation, the need for a strong national defense, and the dangers posed by China's growing influence. However, these moments of agreement were often overshadowed by the stark differences in their worldviews. Musk, the futurist, focused on colonizing Mars and tackling climate change, seemed at odds with Trump, the nostalgic nationalist, more concerned with reviving past glories and settling old scores. The tension was palpable, a constant undercurrent threatening to erupt into open hostility. Section 2. Points of agreement, echoes of shared pragmatism. Despite their ideological differences, there were surprising pockets of agreement, particularly on matters of economic pragmatism. Both men, after all, were billionaires who had built empires through shrewd deal-making and a relentless focus on results. They both expressed skepticism about excessive government regulation, championed American entrepreneurship, and recognized the need to compete aggressively in the global marketplace. On the issue of China, for example, both men agreed that the country posed a significant economic and geopolitical challenge to the United States. While their proposed solutions differed, Trump favoring tariffs and protectionist policies, Musk advocating for strategic partnerships and technological competition, they shared a common goal of maintaining American dominance on the world stage. Section 3. Fault lines appear when ideologies collided. However, these points of convergence were often overshadowed by the deep ideological fault lines that separated them. On climate change, for instance, the chasm between their views was impossible to ignore. Musk, a vocal advocate for renewable energy and reducing carbon emissions, found himself at odds with Trump, who had famously called climate change a hoax and withdrawn the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement. Their exchange on social media censorship further highlighted their divergent perspectives. Musk, a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, defended his decision to acquire Twitter as a means of promoting open dialogue and challenging censorship. Trump, who had used Twitter as a political weapon before being banned from the platform, echoed the importance of free speech, but primarily framed it through the lens of his own grievances and claims of being silenced by the liberal media. Section 4. A battle for the narrative, spin, deflection, and Twitter tactics. The interview became in many ways a microcosm of the broader information war playing out in American society. Both men, masters of their respective domains, deployed their well-honed tactics to control the narrative and shape public perception. Trump, the seasoned showman, relied on his usual arsenal of hyperbole, deflection, and ad hominem attacks, often pivoting to familiar talking points about his accomplishments and his opponent's failures. Musk, on the other hand, adopted a more measured approach, relying on data, logic, and his own brand of nerdy charisma to make his case. He countered Trump's bombast with calm explanations, often steering the conversation towards his vision of the future, a future where technology, innovation, and human ingenuity could solve the world's most pressing problems. Section 5. The Trump Show, featuring Elon Musk, a subversion of expectations. Going into the interview, many expected it to be The Trump Show, a platform for the former president to air his grievances, promote his agenda, and dominate the conversation with his outsized personality. While Trump certainly attempted to steer the narrative in his favor, Musk, to his credit, refused to be relegated to the role of a passive interviewer, or worse, a foil for Trump's bombast. Musk's probing questions, his willingness to challenge Trump's assertions, and his subtle but persistent steering of the conversation towards his own areas of expertise, technology, innovation, and the future, prevented the interview from becoming a one-sided Trump rally. In a way, Musk managed to subvert expectations, turning what could have been a predictable exercise in Trumpian self-promotion into a more nuanced and, dare we say, informative exchange. Despite the moments of tension, the clashing ideologies, and the inevitable attempts to control the narrative, the interview ended on a surprisingly cordial note. Both men expressed respect for each other's accomplishments, acknowledged the importance of finding common ground, and even hinted at the possibility of future collaborations. Whether this newfound camaraderie was genuine or merely a temporary alliance of convenience remained to be seen. However, the very fact that these two titans of industry and influence could engage in a relatively civil and at times even productive conversation offered a glimmer of hope in an increasingly polarized and divided world. The Twitter X interview between Donald Trump and Elon Musk was a digital time capsule, capturing a moment in our cultural and technological evolution. Two influential figures, masters of their domains, discussing the future on a platform reshaping communication and perception. What can we glean from this meeting of the minds? It was a clash of styles, Trump's showmanship versus Musk's tech-centric approach. Trump used deflection and hyperbole, while Musk countered with data-driven arguments and ambitious visions. The choice of venue for this encounter, Musk's own Twitter, recently rebranded as X, was no accident. It highlighted the platform's unprecedented power to shape public discourse. Trump's rise to power was linked to his mastery of Twitter, and Musk's goal of transforming it into a digital town square for free speech raises profound questions about the future of online platforms. Beyond the spectacle, the sound bites, and the inevitable Twitter storms, the interview offered a glimpse of the challenges and choices that will define the 21st century. Climate change, artificial intelligence, the future of work, the rise of China, the erosion of trust in institutions, these are the defining issues of our time. Their impact will be felt by every human being on this planet. The Trump-Musk exchange forced us to confront these issues head-on, to grapple with the complexities of a world in constant flux, and to consider the kind of future we want to create. It reminded us that there are no easy answers, no simple solutions, and that progress requires dialogue, collaboration, and a willingness to engage with those who hold different views. The most enduring legacy may be the questions it raised and the conversations it sparked.